Welcome to Fantasy Audiobook. Fuse with Pink Super Saiyan 3 Black Goku template at the start. Chapter 21. In the arena at this time, Son Goku and Cell have already fought thousands of moves. Although there is no winner yet, it is clear that Son Goku is already at a disadvantage. If you continue to fight, Son Goku will definitely lose. The Cell after absorbing Vegeta is too strong. My physical energy is almost exhausted, but he has nothing to do. It even feels like this guy isn't really fighting me at all. Son Goku in the ring looks heavy. Because among all the people present, only oneself is the strongest. If you can't even defeat Cell, then the Earth is really going to be in a big crisis. Although the mysterious Saiyan named Suhan may also be strong, Son Goku can't guarantee whether the opponent will make a move for the Earth. Even in Son Goku's eyes, as long as this guy doesn't help Cell, he is thankful. After all, Saiyans are all evil races, both themselves and Vegeta came to Earth for the purpose of destroying and ruling Earth. It's just that I broke my head when I was young, which caused me to forget those things. And Vegeta is really getting better now. But when they first came to the Earth, they also wanted to destroy the Earth. So in Son Goku's heart, he has no affection for Saiyan at all. Naturally, they dare not entrust the safety of the Earth to Suhan's hands. What's the matter, Son Goku? You don't have this strength, do you? If this is the case, it would be too boring. Seeing the heavy expression on Son Goku's face, Cell said teasingly. He naturally also saw that Son Goku's physical fitness has problems, but these things are all too normal in Cell's view. Because the current self is a complete Cell, the most powerful existence. No one is his opponent at all. Son Goku is like this, Suhan is also like this. Although I don't want to admit it, I have to say that after absorbing Vegeta, your strength has really become unimaginably powerful. I have trained Super Saiyan to the limit, but I still can't beat you. Son Goku shook his head helplessly. Now he has nothing to do. I am not Cell's opponent at all, and if I can't even beat Cell now, then Trunks and Piccolo are even more impossible. Son Goku, you really let me down. But I suddenly thought of a more interesting thing. If I kill this group of families directly in front of you, you should be very angry. Saying that, Cell licked his lips and showed an evil smile. Cell, I am your opponent, I will never allow you to hurt my partner. After hearing Cell's words, Son Goku became excited. Even if this guy kills himself, Son Goku doesn't want to see his partner get hurt. He would never allow anyone to hurt his partner. Hey, wait for a good show. Point 1, 2, point 8. Cell stretched out his fingers to count Suhan and the others. Then it squatted down, opened the tail spine behind it, and suddenly sprayed out 8 miniature blue cells. And these small cells look exactly like Cell's. There was a fierce expression on everyone's face. This Cell suddenly gave birth to 8 small cells. Seeing the 8 fierce little cells, Keelan subconsciously took half a step back. But Klin was the only one who felt afraid, and even all the Z fighters were frozen in place. Because they can feel that these small cells are very strong, even as strong as the current Son Goku. There is such a thing, everyone run away. After Trunks realized the seriousness of the matter, he hurriedly shouted to Keelan and others behind him. But how could the little Cell give them a chance to escape? Immediately swarmed up. Everyone, what an outrageous thing you did. Cell, I won't let you go. Son Goku yelled angrily while fighting with a small cell. Hide behind me. Seeing the little cell flying towards him, Suhan said calmly. Oh, hearing this, number 18 snuggled up behind Suhan obediently. Because she can also see that these small cells are powerful, and even Trunks are not their opponents. So it is safest to hide behind Suhan at this time. Hey, go to hell. The little cell that flew towards Suhan showed a fierce smile. It was as if he was going to swallow Suhan and the two of them into his stomach. Court death. But for such a guy, Suhan only said 2 words. Then his right hand stretched out the air blade that turned rose red. Brush. PFF'd. As soon as he heard the sound of the air blade cutting the air, the 2 small cells flying towards him were cut in 2. A green liquid flowed out. What? Actually beheaded 2 small cells at once. Son Goku, who was being chased and beaten by the little cell, saw this scene, his eyes suddenly popped. although he knows that the opponent is very strong, maybe even stronger than himself. But he never thought that the opponent could kill 2 small cells with one move. Such strength, wouldn't it be able to easily defeat Cell? At the same time, other small cells found out that their companions had been beheaded by Su-Han. All of them showed fierce faces, and then resolutely gave up the current target, rushing towards Su-Han. Be careful. Although he knew that Su-Han was very strong, but number 18 subconsciously reminded him. Don't worry, these little guys can't hurt me, you find a place to hide, and leave the rest to me. Su-Han smiled and touched No 18's hair, then suddenly disappeared in the same place at the next moment. When it reappeared, each of Su-Han's hands transformed into an air blade. Then the body turned into a stream of light, rushing towards the direction of the little cell. Call out. A stream of light flashed by, and everyone present was stunned. I saw Su-Han's body suddenly disappeared from one place, and then appeared in another place. As for the remaining 6 small cells, they were all cut into sections by Su-Han in an instant. Phew, I finally know why Black Goku likes this trick, it seems to work pretty well. Su-Han glanced at the chi blade in his hand. Then he glanced at the cell under his feet. A provocative smile appeared on the corner of his mouth. The next one is you. After speaking, Su-Han withdrew the chi blade in his hand and turned it back into a fist. Of course, using the air blade directly can kill Cell, but I promised number 18 to rescue No. 17. Of course, you can't just kill Cell like this. And all he has to do now is beat up Cell and make him spit out the number 17. What happened just now? 6 small cells were swished in an instant. At this time, Piccolo's mouth had dropped to the ground, and he looked at Su-Han in disbelief. Before I had time to react, the 6 small cells were all killed. If the strength of the small cell is weak, it can still be explained. But each of these small cells possesses incomparably powerful strength. Not to mention that he was invincible, even Son Goku and Trunks were helpless in the face of the small cell's attack. And it was such a terrifying little cell, who was killed by Su-Han in an instant. Okay, so amazing. Is this the strength of Mr. Su-Han? It's simply too strong. Keelan is still in shock and has not recovered. Everyone, be quiet. Although I and you are in a little mood, at least I can be sure that Mr. Su-Han should be on our side. And the hope of the Earth can only rest on Mr. Su-Han. Trunks said in a heavy tone. Sure enough, my guess is correct. Mr. Su-Han can kill the little cell in an instant, so he must be able to destroy the cell. It seems that this time the Earth will be saved. Smug. Seeing that the little cell was killed by Su-Han in an instant, Cell was so angry that his whole body trembled violently. Of course, there is also an element of fear in this hit. But because Cell became more confident after becoming a full body, so I didn't show it. I didn't even see him make a move, and easily solved all the small cells. Son Goku wiped the blood from the corner of his mouth, and looked at Su-Han in disbelief. Although he knew the strength of the opponent was very strong, Son Goku did not expect the strength of the opponent to be so strong. Son Goku, you don't have anything to do here, go back and have a good rest. Su-Han glanced at Son Goku and said casually. Well, okay, Mr. Su-Han, I'll leave it to you here. Son Goku, who was still in shock, didn't let go of God, and left in a hurry after hearing Su-Han's words. There is no one in our way now, Cell. Come and let me see your full strength. Su-Han said with a playful look. You just killed part of my cells, how dare you be so arrogant? The current me is perfect, and the perfect me is invincible. Cell's face turned pale. Although the small cell he produced just now was only the product of a part of his own cells, it was a part of his body after all. I thought it could consume some of Su-Han's physical energy, but the little cell barely touched the opponent's body, and was instantly killed at the same time. Cell. Above the ring, Su-Han looked down at Cell in the ring with a cold face. Just like God and ants. Do you think you can fight me by absorbing Vegeta? Looking at the cell on the ground, Su-Han said with a playful face. It is no exaggeration to say that my current normal combat power is estimated to have reached hundreds of billions, and the full body of Cell is only 20 billion. Even if the current Cell is a complete body that has absorbed Vegeta, and its strength is stronger, it will only have a strength of less than 30 billion at most. Such strength is no different from a bug in front of Su-han. Stop bluffing, you are probably afraid of me now. My current strength is definitely not as strong as you can imagine. Even though his heart has been shaken, Cell is still extremely confident and said with a sneer. If you try it, you will know whether you are putting on a pose. Su-han hooked his hand at Cell with a provocative look on his face. How dare you not make a fuss when your death is imminent? If you don't come today, maybe you can live a few more days, but since you insist on courting death, then I will even take revenge for last time. Seeing Su-han's calm and provocative appearance, the expression on Cell's face instantly became ferocious. Shua! In the next second, Cell's body disappeared in place. The speed is so fast that it can't be compared with Son Goku before. This guy from Cell, so fast! Son Goku exclaimed when he saw Cell's speed. Because even he just saw an afterimage of Cell's body just now. It seems that when Cell was fighting with himself just now, he didn't use his full strength at all. Instead, it seems to be playing with yourself. If only at the beginning, Cell used such power to fight against himself. Even if I arouse the power of Super Saiyan to the limit, I guess I can barely support it for a few rounds. Again, Son Goku wasn't the only one surprised. The faces of the others looked even more shocked. Because if even Son Goku can only see afterimages, then they probably won't be able to capture even afterimages. Thinking of this, everyone's hearts couldn't help but thump. How fast is Cell? Can Mr. Su-han dodge Cell's attack? This is the question on everyone's mind. Get down on the ground, arrogant and ignorant thing. Cell let out a loud shout, and his body appeared in front of Su-han. Surrounded by golden flames all over his body, he punched Su-han heavily. Cell has seen how powerful Su-han is, so he doesn't dare to be careless. And this punch almost exhausted all his strength. So he was very confident that this punch of his would be able to hit Su-han hard by himself. It's just the next second. As a result, Cell showed an unbelievable expression as if he had seen something terrifying. He didn't expect that his punch with all his strength would be received by Su-han with his palm so casually. What, how could such a thing happen? Cell's expression changed drastically, as if he saw something terrifying. And Son Goku and others on the ground were even more shocked that they could put down a fist in their mouths. This is too unbelievable. Mr. Su-han caught Cell's fist so easily. Son Goku swallowed. Just now they were still worried about whether Su-han was a complete opponent of Cell, but now it seems that their worries are completely unnecessary. Horror! Is this guy really Saiyan? Why can he be so powerful? Piccolo also swallowed hard, equally terrified. Mr. Su-han's strength is really strong. Trunks, Keelan and the others also had their eyes widened, their faces full of disbelief. Indeed, the result was unbelievable to them. That's it. Cell, don't tell me that this is all your strength. That would be too boring. Looking at the terrified Cell, Su-han still said flatly. Obviously that punch just now Cell has used all his strength, but it turned out to be useless at all. Because the two are not on the same level at all. Stop getting carried away. I am a complete Cell, I will never believe that someone can surpass me. Cell recovered from the shock, then hastily adjusted his facial expression. After thinking that he is now a complete body, Cell immediately regained his confidence. Then I'll fight until you believe me. After Su-han's voice fell, he flicked directly, throwing Cell's body out. Boom! Moment. Cell's body smashed the huge arena to pieces. Absolutely unforgivable. A look of fury appeared on Cell's face. Now that I am in full shape, how could I be suppressed by this guy? This is absolutely impossible. There will be no such thing. I don't believe that such a thing will happen. Saying that, Cell seemed to become manic. Ha! Then a roar. Immediately afterwards, the Saiyan cells in the body were activated, and golden arrogance burst out of Cell's body in an instant. And it can be seen that at this moment, the muscles on Cell's body began to swell. The body has become stronger than before, and the muscles have more than doubled in size. At the same time, the aura on his body has also increased several times. Cell's aura has increased. Trunks looked at Cell with a serious face, and found that Cell's body was actually swollen at this time. It's useless, Cell has already lost, and now he is just doing his last struggle. Although this appearance can increase his aura, but the relative speed will be greatly reduced. Son Goku shook his head. Although Cell's strength has become stronger, Son Goku can do it himself. He can also use this method to increase his aura many times. But the consequence of this is that his speed will be severely reduced. In this way, Kong has a powerful body, but he cannot hit the enemy at all. Properly a moving target, so it is of no use at all. So that's how it is. At this time, Trunks understood. Sacrifice speed to improve strength. It's really stupid. Looking at Cell's twice expanded body, although the combat power may have increased by a part. But without the speed it is still zero. I can't touch my body at all. Call out. Su-Han's body flashed, and appeared in front of Cell in the blink of an eye. Give it to me. Cell roared and attacked Su-Han with his fists. But the result was in vain. Su-Han just stretched out his arm and grabbed Cell's fist with great ease. What? Cell's body retreated subconsciously. And Cell, go to hell, go to hell. As Su-Han's voice fell, he punched out, and the fist sank directly into Cell's abdomen. Under the power of this punch, Cell's body directly bent into the shape of a prawn. Wow! A mouthful of green blood spurted out of Cell's mouth, and the pupils shrank sharply. Holding his belly with his hands, he took a few steps back and sat down on the ground. Then began violent vomiting. Su-Han. Mr. Su-Han's strength is too strong. It's so strong, just one punch completely incapacitated Cell. Son Goku and the others had their eyes widened in shock at this moment. Even the jaw is on the ground. He knew that Su-Han was very strong, and even beating Cell would be an easy task. Son Goku believes that even so, Su-Han will definitely have to fight with Cell for a while if he wants to defeat Cell. But Son Goku didn't expect that the opponent would kill Cell with one punch. Make it incapable of fighting. Whoa. Wow. Cell's face was ferocious, and he kept vomiting light green acid water in his mouth, and his stomach seemed to be overwhelmed. And after Cell vomited for 2 minutes, his body suddenly changed a lot. At this time, his chest suddenly swelled, and his neck became even thicker and scary. Wow. Then, a figure spat out directly from Cell's mouth. Something was spit out by Cell. It's Vegeta. After seeing clearly that the figure that Cell spat out was actually Vegeta, Keelan exclaimed directly. Vegeta. Vegeta uncle. At the same time, Trunks and Son Goku and others also discovered this. That's right, the figure spit out by Cell is exactly Vegeta who was absorbed by Cell a few days ago. It's just that Vegeta looks a little nauseating at the moment, his whole body is covered in light green mucus. After spitting out Vegeta, Cell obviously has no way to maintain its full form. It directly changed back to the previous form of thick lips. Cell has changed back to the way it was before, and his chi is also weakening sharply. Great. In this way, I can defeat Cell. After Trunks, Son Goku and others saw the changes in Cell, they shouted excitedly. At the same time, Android 18 is also looking forward to it, and he expects the 17th to be spit out. Wow. Cell was still vomiting, but obviously he didn't intend to give up. Instead he grabbed Vegeta, wanting to absorb it again. Maintain full body form, but it is obvious that Cell's current physical fitness simply cannot do this. Wow. There was another burst of violent vomiting, and Android 17 was also spit out directly by Cell. Cell's appearance has changed directly from the original thick lips to the appearance of a bug. Unexpectedly, such a thing will happen. Cell looked at his hands in disbelief. It never occurred to him that he would turn back into the appearance of a bug. Escape. That's right, there is only one thought in Cell's mind now, so it's considered an escape. Now he can't beat Su-Han, not to mention, even Son Goku and Trunks can kill him easily. So if he didn't escape at this time, he might really die in this place. Call out. Cell desperately used all the power in his body, hoping to speed up his flight. Because the faster you fly, the safer you are. Although he has returned to the form of a bug, as long as he can escape alive. In the future, there is still a chance to absorb number 17 and number 18 again and they will become complete. No, Cell escaped. Just when everyone was indulging in the joy of victory, the observant Piccolo suddenly raised his head and shouted loudly. Cell must not be allowed to escape. At this time, both Son Goku and Trunks shook their fists and turned into Super Saiyan. But Su-han just looked at the direction in which Cell was fleeing and shook his head. But the next moment Su-han's body suddenly disappeared into the distance, and when he reappeared, he was already in front of Cell. What, there is such a thing. Cell looked at Su-han in front of him, and his whole body seemed to fall into an ice cellar. Su-han stretched out 2 fingers and rested on Cell's eyebrows. Then a smile appeared on the corner of his mouth, and he said, "Disappear." Then without giving Cell any chance to react, the powerful rose-red energy cannon directly swallowed Cell's body. Boom. In the end, there was nothing left. Is it instant transmission? I didn't even find out when he left. Son Goku fixed his eyes on Su-han with a terrified expression. Although it is certain that the ability used by the other party just now is instant transmission, Son Goku asked himself that even if he used instant transmission, it would not be impossible to do it so fast. It seems that there is no need to condense chi to search for the other party's breath. If such a terrifying guy is an enemy, can the earth really handle it? Son Goku didn't dare to think. Now I can only hope as much as possible that the other party killed Cell not on a whim, but to protect the earth. Thank you, Mr. Su-han, you saved the earth. Son Goku came to Su-han's side and said respectfully. Yeah, Mr. Su-han, thank you very much this time. If it weren't for you, I don't know what the earth would be like. And what happened last time, I once again apologize to you on behalf of my father. Trunks also understood the worry in Son Goku's heart, and immediately stepped forward to thank him. Killing Cell in one move, if such a guy wants to destroy the earth. They were powerless to resist. Su-han nodded, and then landed directly beside number 18, not continuing to pay attention to Son Goku and the two. He naturally knew what these 2 guys were worried about, although he would not attack the earth. But Su-han didn't bother to explain how much. Maybe giving these guys some pressure and a sense of crisis can make them get back to normal quickly. Klin, you should still have fairy beans. Su-han glanced at Keelan, then said in a flat voice. And the latter immediately took out a bag in his arms, which was filled with fairy beans. Immediately said in a hurry, yes. Su-han took the fairy bean and threw it directly to No. 18. Although he is not dead now, his breath is very weak. This can make him recover quickly. Hearing that number 18 didn't hesitate, he picked up the fairy beans and gave number 17 to eat them. This thing is also recorded in the data in his mind, and it can quickly recover from injuries and physical strength. Am I still alive? Number 17 looked at his hands with some excitement. I thought that I would definitely die after being absorbed by Cell, but I didn't expect that I would actually come back to life now. Fool, of course you're still alive. When number 18 saw her younger brother number 17 waking up, a smile appeared on her face. Number 17 is his only relative in this world, seeing that number 17 is fine and number 18 is naturally very excited. Although Su-han is here now, I will not be alone, but number 17 is my own younger brother after all, and number 18 feels happy from the bottom of my heart to see that Su-han is fine. No, 18, you're alive too. Could it be you who rescued me? Number 17 looked at his sister number 18 suspiciously. In his mind, his sister is far inferior to him in strength, so how did she defeat Cell and save him? Or is it that he and his sister have been absorbed by Cell and are now in the underworld? That's about it. Number 18 crossed his hands and said proudly. Although I didn't save number 17 by myself, if it wasn't because I begged Su-han, number 17 must have disappeared with Cell now. So I also indirectly saved No. 17. TCH. I don't believe it, your strength is not as strong as mine, how can you defeat Cell? Number 17 glanced at his sister number 18 in disbelief. It was impossible for him to believe that the other party saved him. After all, sister No 18's strength is not as strong as her own, and Cell is a terrifying existence that even she can't deal with. So the one who rescued himself should be someone else. Hello number 17. At this time, Su-han, who had been watching the siblings from the sidelines, slowly walked over. I don't think I've seen you before. Seeing Su-han suddenly, number 17 frowned subconsciously. What's the matter with this guy? He doesn't have any breath. Could it be said that he is also an artificial human like himself? But how is this possible? There are only so many artificial humans in Dr. Gero's laboratory, and there is no possibility of an artificial human appearing suddenly. We really haven't seen one. Su-han shook his head faintly, and just smiled at his brother-in-law's guard. Are you an artificial human too? Number 17 still looked at Su-han warily. But what ushered in was a shock from my sister on the 18th. Snapped. Sister, why did you hit me? Number 17 covered his head, and looked at his sister number 18 aggrievedly. He didn't understand why his sister beat him suddenly. Stop messing around with number 17, he is not a man-made man, and your life was saved by others. Number 18 looked at his younger brother number 17 and said helplessly. Although she has become Su-han's servant now, number 18 is very aware of how terrifying this man's strength is, and she must not let her younger brother offend him. Moreover, number 17 has a very conceited character. If he accidentally offends Su-han, it will be troublesome. What? He saved me. Number 17 had an unbelievable expression on his face. But the next second there was a smile on his face. Call out. Without giving the 18th a chance to react, the 17th just kicked Su-han. Snapped. But the ushered result was indeed accepted by the opponent with a slap. What? Come again. Seeing that his attack was blocked, number 17 didn't give up and immediately used his other leg to attack Su-han again. Snapped. In the end, he was still defended by the opponent with ease like last time. TCH, there is such a thing. On the 17th, he leapt up and distanced himself from Su-han. The speed is okay, but the strength is too weak and needs to be practiced. Su-han said with a smile. There was no mood swing due to the attack on the 17th. Because no 17's personality is like this, and the two have never met each other. There's so much nonsense, I don't believe that you are stronger than me. As he spoke, number 17 clenched his fists tightly, and shot his body like a sharp arrow. The two fists were like machine guns, launching a crazy attack on Su-han. But facing such an attack, Su-han just smiled, and then easily blocked all the attacks of number 17 with one finger. What? Actually blocked all my attacks with just one finger? How is this possible? Number 17 looked at Su-han in disbelief. At this moment, he also understood that the man's strength was not comparable to his own. Even as long as the other party is willing, they can kill themselves in an instant. What are you doing on the 17th? He is your brother-in-law. Seeing no 17's crazy attack, number 18 shouted out in desperation. But after a while, she reacted with a pretty face and a little red. It seems like everyone is looking at me. What? Brother-in-law? For a while, number 17 was stunned in place. But after a while, he immediately reacted, so the explanation made sense, and it was strange that he would rescue himself. And the opponent in the battle just now didn't mean to hurt him at all. Immediately, the embarrassed number 17 came to Su-han's side. Then he smiled lightly and said, So it's my brother-in-law, I really don't know each other. But brother-in-law is really strong, no wonder he was able to save me from Cell. Number 18 looked at his younger brother number 17, and was also stunned. I didn't expect my younger brother's face to change so quickly. Ho ho, my brother-in-law is really good, I saved you from Cell's body. Although I was a little surprised by Su-han, the 17th who suddenly changed his face, he also said with a smile. But it's normal to think about it, just now number 17 already knew how strong he is, and just now number 18 himself admitted it. And if this is the case, why does number 17 continue to insist on it? After all, the opponent's strength is much stronger than his own, and he is also his savior. In the future, it will be my brother-in-law, so it would be even better if I can give some pointers on my cultivation and teach myself a few tricks by the way. After hearing the chat between the two, 18's face turned blue and red. How did these two guys reconcile so quickly? If she had known this, she wouldn't have yelled like that just now, it's too embarrassing. At the same time, Vegeta, who was spit out by Cell on the other side, also woke up. Not far away came the excited voice of Trunks. Daddy is awake, great. Looking at the awakened Vegeta, Trunks said excitedly. My father was also rescued by Mr. Su-han, which is really great, so I don't have to worry about being unable to explain to my mother. Hiss. Vegeta rubbed his head and immediately said indifferently to Trunks, Hey. That Cell, how dare to do so much to me, I must let him know how powerful my King Vegeta is. Vegeta looked around with an angry face. He found that there was no sign of Cell, so he set his sights on Su-Han. Why is he here? Cell, Vegeta frowned, then looked at Son Goku with an ugly face. He found that Son Goku's strength has actually become stronger, even surpassing his current self. Vegeta, be careful when you speak, your life was saved by Mr. Su-Han. Don't say it's you, even everyone on the earth was saved by Mr. Su-Han. If Mr. Su-Han hadn't wiped out Cell, Cell wouldn't know what it would be like to destroy the earth now. Seeing Vegeta's tone of voice, Son Goku also said a little unhappy. What the other party said also saved everyone's life, and Vegeta's tone of voice would inevitably make people uncomfortable. What, Kakarot, you said Cell was wiped out by that fool. And even I was rescued by him. Hearing this, Vegeta's pupils shrank suddenly, and then he clenched his fists. There was a crackling sound. This Su-Han not only killed his prey Cell, but also saved himself. I am a proud Saiyan prince, and now I was rescued by my enemy. This is an absolute shame for Vegeta. Vegeta shouted angrily. Then the energy on his body suddenly gushed out, and his body turned into a Super Saiyan at this moment. Dad, calm down. After seeing Vegeta turned into Super Saiyan, Trunks hurried forward to stop Vegeta. I'm afraid that the other party will anger Su-Han, and then I'm afraid he will really kill Dad directly. At the same time, Su-Han naturally noticed Vegeta's side, but he ignored it. He just smiled slightly, and then continued to talk to number 17 and the others. It seems that the other party has never been taken seriously from the beginning to the end. This fool, you just ignored me, Vegeta. It's King Vegeta who won't let a guy like you go. Vegeta gritted his teeth. Unexpectedly, the other party didn't think of him at all. For a moment, an endless sense of humiliation welled up in my heart. Vegeta directly pushed the Trunks away, and then rushed towards Su-Han. But facing the sudden attack of Vegeta, Su-Han only frowned slightly, and whispered a word. Roll, boom. Suddenly, a powerful aura was released, and Vegeta knelt down on the ground like an eggplant beaten by frost. How is it possible? Such a powerful energy, this is simply not something I can compete with. Vegeta knelt down on the ground, losing all spirit. Because such a blow is really too big for him. Yes, I'm sorry Mr. Su-Han, we are not optimistic about Mr. Vegeta. At this time, Son Goku's expression became tense, for fear that Su-Han would be angry. If this is the case, then Vegeta will really become the sinner of the whole earth. I'll let you go this time, and next time, I believe I don't need to say more. Su-Han ignored Son Goku, but looked at Vegeta kneeling on the ground with a fierce look on his face, and said in a cold voice. I have given this guy 2 chances already, and if he does it again, Su-Han really doesn't mind letting Vegeta go to hell. I'm sorry Mr. Su-Han, it's all because I didn't like Mr. Vegeta, I promise that such a thing will never happen again. Trunks also looked flustered. After seeing the other party nodding, he hurriedly picked up Vegeta and flew out. It's better to take away this guy who only makes trouble now, otherwise if you are cutting out some moths, you will really be finished. The other Z fighters also breathed a sigh of relief after seeing Vegeta being carried away. They have all seen Su-Han's strength just now, and they eliminated the powerful Cell with one move. Thinking of that scene now, they all felt a little terrified. So now that Vegeta is taken away is naturally the best result. Well, Mr. Su-Han, can we now summon Shenron to restore the Earth to its original state? At this time, Piccolo came over and asked cautiously. Okay, but I need to use up a wish later. Su-Han looked at Piccolo and said unceremoniously. Destroying Cell by himself can be regarded as saving the entire Earth, not to mention asking for one wish, even if it is not too much to ask for 3 wishes. But for Su-Han, 1 is enough, too much is useless. Okay, Mr. Su-Han, you can rest assured. After all, you are the great hero of the Earth. After finishing speaking, Piccolo put the 7 Dragon Balls that had already been collected on the ground. Then start summoning Shenron. Then the sky suddenly changed color, and a green Shenron slowly emerged from the clouds. The current Shenron can also fulfill 3 wishes at once because of the relationship transformed by Dend. As for the first two wishes, it is natural to resurrect the dead humans and restore the destroyed parts of the earth to their original state. When it came to the third wish, all Z fighters looked at Su-han. They were all curious, what kind of wish would such a powerful guy have? The same is true for number 18, looking at Su-han expectantly. She also wants to see what wishes this powerful man has, and she still needs to use Shenron to realize them. Say it, your last wish. Shenron watched Su-han's eyes glow red. Clear the bombs in number 17 and no. 18. Su-han looked at Shenron and said very seriously. What, clear the bomb in us? Hearing this, number 18 was stunned for a moment, never thinking that the other party's wish was actually this. But at this time, no 18's attitude towards this man also changed. Because of Su-han's actions, number 18 felt warm in his heart. And Shenron is also very clean and neat, helping Su-han fulfill his wish. Although it is impossible to turn them into humans directly, it is not difficult for Shenron to clear the bomb. Number 17 and number 18 also felt extraordinarily comfortable after feeling that the bomb in their bodies had been cleared. Although the bomb will not explode suddenly, after all, it is inside their bodies. If it explodes suddenly, even Su-han may not be able to save them. It looks like my brother-in-law is really reliable. My sister has a brother-in-law to accompany you now, and I can leave with peace of mind. Number 17 looked at his sister number 18, and said with a light smile. Originally, number 17 planned to follow number 18 to observe for a while, to see if his brother-in-law was reliable. But now it seems that my worries are completely unnecessary. And my brother-in-law is very reliable. Otherwise, they wouldn't have gone out of their way to ask Piccolo for a wish just now to clear the bombs in their bodies. And if this is the case, number 17 can also rest assured. Su-han is powerful and cares about her sister. In this case, I can safely hand over my sister to the other party. After all, no matter how strong the brother-in-law is, he will definitely not need to protect his sister in the future. Leave, what do you mean on the 17th? Number 18 looked at his younger brother number 17, and he panicked for a moment, wondering why his younger brother was so soft to say such words. Don't worry, sister, I just want to live the life I want. Now you have a brother-in-law to accompany you. The most important thing is that your brother-in-law is very strong. You will definitely not suffer any more in the future. Number 17 looked at her sister number 18 and said with a smile. But, have you really thought about it on the 17th? Number 18 bit his lip. Although his younger brother wanted to live the life he wanted, and number 18 also agreed with this point, he saw that his younger brother was about to leave suddenly. She will still be a little lost. Yup, I'm going to live the life I want, find a small island with no people, marry a wife, have children, farm and support my family. After finishing speaking, number 17 turned his head and waved his hands. Brother-in-law, take good care of my sister, otherwise I won't let you go. After talking about number 17, it turned into a streak of light and disappeared into the distance. Number 17 is gone. Looking at the direction in which number 17 left, number 18 still said sadly. Yes, but you don't have to worry too much. After all, everyone has a life that everyone wants to live, and this cannot be forced. And number 17 has such an idea, we should support him. Su-han hugged No 18's shoulder and said in a low voice. Well, I see. After feeling the warmth in Su-han's heart, number 18 nodded slowly. Su-han is right, he should support his younger brother. You should support your brother's ideas. And it seems that there is nothing wrong with farming and raising a family. Open black lens bracket ding. Congratulations to the host for completing the check-in task, destroying the cell and saving the Z fighters. Close black lens bracket. Reward, 10% angel power. Additional bonus, 15% pink energy, rainbow energy. It's the power of angel. After hearing the voice of the system in his head, Su-han was stunned. 10% angel power. Although it seems a little small, it is actually very good, and even only 10% of angel's power can make a person get a great transformation. Even the speed of cultivation will increase rapidly. Even Ultra Instinct, which can only be learned by learning Angel, with the power of 10% Angel, it must be much easier to learn. Now that the system's mission has been completed, Su-han only has one goal in mind. That is to learn Angel's supernatural powers. Moreover, Su-Han now has 10% angel power in his body, although it seems a little less. But this can greatly accelerate Su-Han's learning of Angel's magical powers. After resting on the earth for a day, Su-Han went to Exedu Market to buy enough daily necessities and fast food. I promised Angel Whis before that I would bring him some delicacies from the earth. So naturally Su-Han will not forget this point. And for Angel Whis, a big foodie, he wants Angel Whis to guide him to learn Angel's magical powers without reservation. That food is naturally the fastest shortcut. And Su-Han brought a variety of bucket noodles this time. All this can be said to be arranged very properly. However, Su-Han did not bring number 18 with him this time, because he used to learn Angel's magical powers, and it would be troublesome if he took her there. Gods of Destruction realm, that's where Gods of Destruction lives. Although the Beerus guy is now asleep, Su-Han can't guarantee when he will wake up. In case this guy wakes up suddenly, who knows if he will go crazy and attack himself. Anyone who has read the original book knows that Gods of Destruction Beerus is very angry when he wakes up, and it will be uncomfortable if he hurts the 18th at that time. And now Su-Han thinks that he is not the opponent of Gods of Destruction Beerus. Even if the opponent does not use the power of destruction, he may not be able to deal with it. The prepared food is almost enough for the first half of the year, so it should be fine. I guess at this time Whis should be a big foodie, and he should have been waiting for me at the place last time. Su-Han looked at the food capsule in his hand, which was enough to last the first half year, and smiled with satisfaction. Although I am not sure how long I will stay in that place, but it is definitely right to bring more food. After all, the food in the world of Gods of Destruction is really hard to eat. After capturing Angel Whis' divine breath, Su-Han directly used the unlimited instant transmission to transfer the past. And this process only takes a few seconds. Call out. By the time Su-Han reappeared, he had already arrived at the universe where he fought Gods of Destruction Champa. As for the torn universe cracks in the sky, they have already recovered. Obviously it should be the masterpiece of Angel Whis. The only ones in the universe who can do this are Angel Whis and Gods of Destruction Beerus. Not even Su-Han could do it himself. Ho ho, Mr. Su-Han, you are finally here. I've been waiting for you here for a whole day, the food that was promised earlier. Angel Whis was a little surprised when he saw Su-Han suddenly appearing, but he recovered instantly. The ability of instant transmission is amazing, but such ability is not unusual for Angel, and they have seen many of them. Although the instant transmission used by Su-Han seems to be different from what he has seen before, in Whis' eyes, these things are nothing compared to delicious food. After all, Su-Han said he wanted to bring him delicious food, and because of this, he has been waiting here all day today. Huh, Mr. Su-Han, why didn't you bring anything? Could it be that you forgot? Whis looked around Su-Han's body, but didn't find that Su-Han was carrying anything, and immediately frowned with displeasure. I have been waiting all day for the delicious food in your mouth, but what is going on with you now? Should I really forget it? Ha ha, how is this possible, Mr. Whis, since I promised, I will never forget it. Su-Han smiled, then took out the food capsule from his arms. What is this? Is this what Mr. Su-Han said about delicious food? Angel Whis looked at the magic capsule that Su-Han took out, and then said with a puzzled expression. But these things don't look delicious. This is not edible, this is a super capsule, but it can store a lot of things, such as food. After speaking, a smile appeared on the corner of Su-Han's mouth. Then he took out a food capsule, pressed it, and finally threw it out. Boom, followed by a burst of white smoke. More than a dozen backpacks were presented in front of Su-Han and the two of them. And each of these school bags is filled with all kinds of food. Wow, this thing is amazing. How can such a small thing hold so much food? Whis looked at Su-Han in shock like a country bumpkin who had never seen the world. It never occurred to me that the humans on Earth are so powerful that they can invent such a thing. It is unbelievable that so many delicacies can be contained in a small capsule. But when Su-Han casually picked up a school bag and took out a ham, Whis' eyes were instantly drawn to it. Mr. Su-Han, what is this thing in your place? Looking at the thing wrapped in red film, although Angel Whis felt extraordinarily strange, he told Angel Whis directly that this thing is definitely a delicacy. And it's more delicious than anything I've ever eaten before. Mr. Wiss, this is ham sausage, a specialty of our Earth. Just peel off the outer layer of film and eat it directly. It's very convenient and delicious. Saying that, Su-han peeled off the ham sausage and started to eat it. However, in order to attract Wiss' curiosity, Su-han's expression of eating ham sausage was extremely exaggerated. That expression is really a treat. That Mr. Su-han. Is this thing really so delicious? Gulu. Angel Wiss swallowed, and his heart became even more yearning for this thing called ham sausage. You'll know if you try it, Su-han said with a faint smile, and casually threw a ham sausage to Wiss. And Angel Wiss didn't hesitate, picked up the ham sausage and quickly peeled it open, and then took a bite. Wow, this thing, it's amazing. There is such a delicious thing in this world. Angel Wiss made all kinds of exclamations while tasting the ham sausage. Anyway, Su-han couldn't stand the voice, it was as if he had been harassed by that voice. It would be too enjoyable. Su-han, Mr. Su-han, is this really a product of the Earth? Isn't it too delicious? Although the ham sausage had been wiped out by Angel Wiss, his eyes still stayed on the food backpack in Su-han's hand. It seems that during this period of time, I have a good time. But Angel Wiss really didn't come to this world first. How could there be delicious things in this world? Why didn't I discover it before? So Angel Wiss made up his mind that he must take Mr. Beerus to the Earth to taste delicious food in the future. The speed of Angel Wiss, the entire 7th universe probably can't find a second. Just relying on speed alone, it is possible to travel through hundreds of planets in 1 second. But even so, it took the two of them about an hour before they finally arrived at the God Realm. This made Su-han couldn't help but sigh, the vastness of the universe. This is the world of gods of destruction, Mr. Su-han. After landing, Angel Wiss said. Angel Wiss placed the dozens of backpacks full of food directly in his staff space. Angel Wiss was very excited about this matter. Because after tasting these delicacies brought by Su-han, Wiss feels that these foods in their gods of destruction world taste like chewing wax. It was hard to swallow. Why didn't I notice it before? Su-han looked at the scene in the world of gods of destruction, a purple land with flowers and trees just like the Earth. It seems that except for the purple Earth, it seems to be exactly the same as the Earth. Although it seems so, the intensity of the divine aura in this place is not comparable to places like the Earth. There is absolutely no level between the two. So this is exactly the reason why cultivating in this place can double the speed of one's cultivation. Is that where the gods of destruction live? Su-han looked at the center of gods of destruction, a palace that looked like a big tree. It is basically consistent with the original book, and it is not difficult to see where gods of destruction Beerus should live. That's right, Mr. Su-han, if you want to go in and visit, you can, but you have to be careful not to make too much noise. Because it would be scary if Master Beerus was woken up. Speaking of this, Wiss suddenly burst out laughing. It seems that the scene where Su-han was sleepwalked by gods of destruction Beerus has already appeared in his mind. Ha ha, I won't go. Looking at Angel Wiss' wretched smile, how could Su-han not guess the reason? In the anime, the scene where Son Goku and Vegeta waited on Beerus to change the bedsheets and pajamas and then was beaten up is still vivid in my mind. And Su-han didn't want to do that. And won't do it. This is also the reason why Su-han brings various flavors of instant noodles. As long as Wiss' appetite is controlled, those things will naturally not be his turn to solve. Ho 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 ho. Actually, Mr. Su-han, you don't have to worry, because Mr. Beerus has a very lazy personality and likes to sleep very much, so under normal circumstances he won't wake up at all. And he has been sleeping for more than 20 years now. According to the usual situation, at least Master Beerus will sleep for another few decades. Wiss continued with a smile. Gulu. At this moment, Angel Wiss' stomach suddenly made a growling sound. I don't know if he did it on purpose or he was really hungry. Then he immediately put his eyes on Su-han and said, "Mister, I only ate some ham sausage." Clear. Hearing this, how could Su-han not know what the other party was planning? But Su-han had expected this a long time ago, and directly took out the prepared purple bucket noodles. What, Mr. Su-han, is this thing edible? Why does it look a little different from ham sausage, and the packaging is actually purple, which is the same taste as Mr. Beerus? Angel Wiss looked at the bucket noodles in Suhan's hands, and said with some disgust. Indeed, the sky is full of purple here, I am afraid that anyone who sees it will feel sick. Mr. Wiss, don't underestimate this thing. This is the old phlegm sauerkraut beef noodles that I have treasured for many years. And you can eat it just by adding boiling water. It tastes much better than ham sausage. Saying that, Suhan ignored Angel Wiss, opened the package and added boiling water. Lao Tan sauerkraut beef noodles. Although Angel Wiss was somewhat skeptical, after hearing Suhan say that he had treasured this item for many years, he immediately dispelled his worries. After all, since Mr. Suhan has kept it for so many years, it must be the best of the delicious. About 3 minutes later, the moment the bucket noodle was opened, the sauerkraut smell of Laotan sauerkraut was mixed with the aroma of beef, and hit the face in an instant. Angel Wiss, who was still watching from the sidelines, trembled when he smelled the scent. Then it was like getting an electric shock. It's so fragrant. Well, Mr. Suhan, can I have a bite of this first? Angel Wiss leaned forward, eyes full of pleading. Of course, but Mr. Wiss, I have treasured this Laotan sauerkraut beef noodle for many years, but I have never been willing to eat it. So you have to pay something. While speaking, Suhan slapped the lid of the bucket, and the fragrance disappeared instantly. And Angel Wiss looked even more tormented, staring straight at the old phlegm sauerkraut beef noodles in Suhan's hand. Gulu. Angel Wiss checked his saliva. Then he said with a serious face, I don't know what Mr. Suhan wants. As long as I can satisfy, I will definitely agree to everything. Wiss swallowed, trying not to look at Lao Tan's sauerkraut and beef noodles. I want to learn Angel's supernatural powers. Suhan looked at Wiss very seriously and said. What? Learning Angel's supernatural powers? Mr. Suhan doesn't know why you want to learn Angel's supernatural power. And our Angel's supernatural power is very difficult to learn. It's not that I don't want to teach you Angel's supernatural powers, it's just that Angel's supernatural powers are difficult for anyone other than our angel race, including gods of destruction, so I think it's better for you to learn other abilities. Angel Wiss looked at Suhan in surprise, never expecting that the other party would make such a request. But in addition to being surprised, Wiss would still sneak a glance at the bucket of noodles in Suhan's hand. Mr. Wiss, you don't have to worry about this. It doesn't mean that I can't learn it if others can't learn it, and you have to try to know the result. Suhan still has no plans to make concessions. After all, I have already mastered 10% of the power of Angel. If I learn the supernatural power of Angel, there must be no problem, and maybe I can quickly master it. Of course, if you don't agree to me, Mr. Wiss, then I'll keep the old phlegm sauerkraut beef noodles that have been treasured for many years for myself. Saying that, Suhan opened the lid again, then picked up the tableware and was about to eat. Wait, Mr. Suhan, since you want to learn Angel's supernatural power, then I will teach you, but I can't guarantee that you will be able to learn it. Angel Wiss grabbed Suhan's arm and said hastily. I'm waiting for your words. Suhan secretly said in his heart. Seeing that Wiss agreed, Suhan also gave the bucket of noodles to the other party very neatly. Suhan still likes to eat braised beef noodles and original pork bone noodles. And Suhan's goal has been achieved. Learning Angel's supernatural powers is naturally very difficult, Suhan knows this very well. If it is simple, it is impossible that only gods of destruction. Beerus has mastered the imperfect ultra instinct in gods of destruction. So Suhan is very clear about the difficulty of cultivating Angel's supernatural powers. But it's different now. Suhan has mastered 10% of Angel's power. With the basics, learning Angel's supernatural powers will become extraordinarily simple. Wow, this Laotan sauerkraut beef noodles are so delicious. I don't know when I can eat it again next time. Holding the bucket of noodles and gulping down the remaining soup, Angel Wiss began to long for the next time to taste such delicious things. Don't worry, Mr. Wiss, as long as you teach me Angel's supernatural powers well, it's not impossible for you to try the barrel noodles again. Suhan patted Angel Wiss on the shoulder and said with a light smile. When Angel Wiss heard this, his whole body became excited as if he had been injected with chicken blood. Pulling Suhan's wrist, he was about to practice. Although it is difficult to cultivate Angel's supernatural powers, I believe that with your cultivation talent, Mr. Suhan, you will be able to master them smoothly. After speaking, the two began to practice Angel's supernatural powers. At this moment, Angel Whis made up his mind that he must teach Suhan no matter what. Even if it's for the barrel noodles, I have to work hard. This is the basis for cultivating Angel's supernatural powers, which is the introductory rule of God's power. After you master this, we can start to learn Angel's supernatural powers. Whis tapped Suhan's eyebrows with the staff in his hand. Then a wave of energy slowly poured into Suhan's mind from Whis' staff. At the same time, Suhan also felt a warm feeling coming from his body. Then a burst of information came into my mind. Open black lens bracket ding. Congratulations to the host for successfully obtaining the cultivation method of the Introduction to the Power of God. Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket ding. Congratulations to the host for successfully mastering the Introduction to the Power of God. Close black lens bracket. And at the same time that the information was passed into his mind, the system's notification tone also rang. What? The system actually learned it for me. Suhan, who had his eyes closed, suddenly opened them and stood up abruptly. It's unbelievable, because the moment the system's voice fell, Suhan felt that he had really fully mastered the ability that Whis had taught him just now. Suhan looked at his hands in amazement. It turns out that the system still has such abilities. Ho ho, Mr. Suhan, why did you suddenly show such an expression? Is it because the law of God's power entry is too difficult to learn? But it's normal for you to have such a reaction. It was really difficult to master when I first came into contact with it, even Lord Gods of Destruction Beerus was the same. Seeing Suhan's suddenly shocked expression, Whis naturally thought that the other party was shocked by the difficulty of learning the ability he taught. After all, it took a month to learn this thing by myself. So Whis completely understands Mr. Suhan's expression. Is that so? Suhan didn't pay attention to what Whis said just now. Instead, he stretched out his palms, and each of his hands formed a spiral. And the aura of God around him began to pour into Suhan's palm like crazy. It looks spectacular. How could such a thing happen? Seeing the two vortexes in Suhan's hand, Angel Whis' eyes suddenly shot out, with an expression of disbelief. He didn't expect such a thing to happen. Suhan has only just come into contact with the introductory rules of the power of God, how could he master it in an instant? This made Whis feel very incredible. It's even unimaginable. You must know that even as an angel, when I was learning the entry rules of the power of God, I worked hard for a long time before I finally mastered it. Could it be that Mr. Suhan's talent for learning Angel's supernatural powers has surpassed himself as an angel? It's unbelievable, at least according to Angel Whis. What's wrong with you, Mr. Whis? Suhan looked at the Angel Whis who was already frozen in place, and immediately asked with feigned doubts. Of course, Suhan understood why the other party showed such an expression. He mastered the ability that Angel Whis gave him in an instant, and the other party didn't show such a shocked expression. That's strange. Ahem, it's nothing, Mr. Suhan, since you have fully mastered the entry rules of the power of God, let's start the next step of training. Angel Whis was helpless. He thought that just an entry rule of divine power would be enough for Suhan to learn for a while. But I didn't expect the other party to be so perverted, and to master it in such a short period of time. But this is not necessarily a bad thing. After all, without Angel's guidance, the other party has grown to a level beyond the phenomenon. So if the other party is able to successfully master Angel's supernatural power next time, Whis thinks it is really necessary to report this matter to the Grand Priest. Chapter 31. In the past few months of practicing in the Gods of Destruction world. But Suhan can basically master all the supernatural powers taught to him by Angel Whis in an instant. However, in order to cover up the existence of the system, Suhan did not exaggerate it the first time. It was a deliberate disguise and symbolic practice for a period of time before letting Whis teach him other supernatural powers. But even so, it still made Angel Whis feel extraordinarily incredible. Whis originally thought that it was impossible for the other party to learn Angel's ability. Even if the other party's talent was very high, they could only learn a little superficially at best. But Whis didn't expect that as long as it was the ability he imparted to the other party, Su-han would basically master it within 2 or 3 days without any accidents. However, due to the restrictions of the rules, Whis only gave Su-han some very ordinary angel powers, and did not give Su-han the time reversal and ultra instinct. Because angels' high-level supernatural powers are stipulated and cannot be taught without authorization. Even if Su-han has extraordinary talents, if he wants to learn these abilities, he must be approved by the Grand Priest. During the period of cultivating in the Gods of Destruction world, Su-han and Whis also had many sparring contests. Although in the end every time it ended with Su-han's defeat. But through the contest with Angel Whis, Su-han's strength has been greatly improved. Especially speed. In the beginning, Su-han couldn't touch the opponent's body at all. He could only be beaten passively, but it was completely different in the back. Su-han began to slowly catch up with Whis' speed, and not only that, but sometimes he could take the opportunity to counterattack. Although during the period of practicing in the Gods of Destruction world, Su-han did not learn time reversal and ultra instinct as he wished. But Su-han's strength has made a qualitative leap. Ding! Congratulations to the host for completing the hidden sign-in task, Gods of Destruction World Practice for 3 months. Reward: Perfect Pink Energy. Additional reward: Omen of Freedom. Listening to the system prompt in his head, Su-han's body was stunned. Hide check-in tasks. There is actually a hidden check-in task. Su-han was dumbfounded. Originally, Su-han thought that the system hadn't refreshed the task for a long time. It should be because he learned the supernatural power, which consumed the energy of the system. But I didn't expect that I would complete the hidden task of the system by mistake. Perfect Pink Energy. Su-han swallowed his saliva, and finally collected the energy that Taohong needed. Then if nothing else happened, Su-han should be able to become Taohong's 3 full attack rate. And the system actually rewarded him with an extra sign of freedom. Although the Ultra Instinct is not a perfect Ultra Instinct and cannot maintain the Ultra Instinct state like Angel at all times, the ability of the Ultra Instinct is already very strong. Su-han has read related introductions before, although the Ultra Instinct is not a perfect Ultra Instinct. But it is much stronger than the imperfect Ultra Instinct used by Son Goku in the original book. In the original book, during the Tournament of Power, the Ultra Blue Son Goku was directly rubbed against the ground by Jiren. But after turning on the imperfect Ultra Instinct, the situation was reversed. Son Goku stood up, and Jiren became the one who was pressed to the ground and rubbed. From this we can see how powerful Ultra Instinct is. And you must know that the original Son Goku only grasped some prototypes, and did not reach the realm of the ultimate sign of freedom at all. If I face Gods of Destruction Champa again with my current strength, I wonder if I can beat that guy to the ground. Saying that, Su-han clenched his fists excitedly. It is an omen that Su-han will have the power to fight against Gods of Destruction Beerus in the future. Su-han is not sure whether he can defeat the strongest Gods of Destruction Beerus now, but what is certain is that with the sign of freedom, he already has the qualifications to fight against Gods of Destruction Beerus. What's wrong with you, Mr. Su-han? Do you want to take a break? Seeing Su-han stop suddenly, and then froze on the spot for a long time without any response, Whis immediately asked curiously. It's nothing, Mr. Whis. I suddenly felt like the energy in my body had exploded, and it should have been raised to another level. How about Mr. Whis, come and help me try my ability. A smile appeared on Su-han's face as he spoke. Angel Whis is very strong, so he doesn't have to worry about hurting the opponent with his shots. And this guy has the existence of a perfect Ultra Instinct, so it is only appropriate to go to him to help with training. So, then Mr. Su-han will treat me to chicken stewed mushroom flavored bucket noodles after the battle is over. Angel Whis did not refuse, but instead extended a finger. Because when Su-han asked to fight him before, he was also paid with barrel noodles. No problem. After speaking, Su-han directly turned into Super Saiyan God Pink. Then slowly floated into the midair of the God realm. The same goes for Angel Whis. However, his expression was not as serious as Su-han's, but rather relaxed. Because every battle between Su-han and himself ended in failure, so Angel Whis thinks that this point is definitely no exception. Whis, you should be more serious. This time I feel that I have made a huge breakthrough. It will be bad if I accidentally hurt you later. Su-han said with extra confidence. Although there is no way to directly defeat Whis, it is still possible to injure the opponent if you use the free sign. Ho ho. It seems that this time, Mr. Su-han, your strength has improved a lot, but even so, it is very difficult to injure Angel. Angel Whis said with a smile. He naturally also saw that Su-han's strength had become a lot stronger, but if the opponent's strength was only as strong as he saw now, Whis didn't think he needed to take it seriously. After all, my portable skill is Ultra Instinct. It can be said that my body is using Ultra Instinct all the time. Not to mention that Su-han couldn't easily hit himself. Even if Lord Gods of Destruction Beerus wanted to fight head-on, it would be extremely difficult to injure his own body. In that case, Mr. Whis, I'm not going to be polite. Su-han didn't explain too much, since the other party disagreed. Then let Whis take a good look at his own sign of freedom. Drink. Su-han gave a soft drink. 2 rose-red air blades appeared on both hands. It can be seen that the air blade used by Su-han at this moment is somewhat different from the one used to kill the little cell before. Although the air blade is also rose-red, there is faint purple energy hovering in the center of Su-han's air blade at this moment, and the size of the air blade is much larger than before. Not only does it look more domineering, but even because Su-han has injected the power of God into it, the power of the current air blade has been greatly improved compared to before. The legs opened, and immediately Su-han's body shot out in the direction of Whis like a sharp blade. Call out. In an instant, Su-han had arrived in front of Whis, and he slashed down with the rose-red air blade. Facing the oncoming sharp blade, Whis didn't panic at all. There was still a smile on his face. Then he turned sideways to avoid Su-han's attack. And the moment Whis dodged Su-han's attack, the staff in his hand swung at Su-han the next moment. At the same time, Angel Whis smiled, as if he felt that he had won. But what happened in the next second made Angel Whis stunned. Su-han's body was like a ghost, deftly dodging Angel Whis' staff. Call out. When the body reappeared, it was already behind Whis. Hey, where are you looking, Mr. Whis? Facing Whis, who was stunned there, Su-han whispered in his ear. This was actually avoided. Could it be the prototype of Ultra Instinct just now? No, it's impossible. Whis shook his head quickly, letting himself dismiss the thought. Although the opponent's actions just now were indeed a bit like the prototype of Ultra Instinct, but Ultra Instinct itself did not teach Su-han. And even if you teach it yourself, the other party may not be able to learn it. Try to say. Thinking of this, Whis' eyes suddenly became sharp. Facing the man in front of him, Whis didn't dare to take it lightly. Come on again, Mr. Su-han. Whis said calmly. It is good. At this time, Su-han stopped hiding. Clenched fists. Then came out with a roar. A powerful breath of God surged from Su-han's body in an instant. Ha! Ah! At the same time, Su-han's original thick eyebrows disappeared, replaced by 2 particularly prominent brow bones. The pink hair grew rapidly behind her, and finally fell on Su-han's back. Coupled with the thunder and lightning around the body surrounded by pink energy, Su-han suddenly looks more mysterious. It's not over yet, Mr. Whis. Su-han glanced at Whis, then growled again. The long hair behind him floated in the air along with the surge of the surrounding god's breath. And most of the clothes on his upper body were directly torn. The strong muscles were exposed to the air. At the same time, the entire Gods of Destruction world shook violently. And Su-han is like a killing god who came out of hell, with endless peach-red god's aura exuding from all over his body. Whis frowned. Before he could be shocked, he immediately picked up the staff in his hand and quickly deployed a protective barrier. Since Su-han's power can make the entire Gods of Destruction world tremble, it is enough to show how strong his power is. Although shocked, Whis didn't want to wake up Gods of Destruction Beerus at this time. Otherwise, it will be troublesome. Seeing a phenomenon-level powerhouse like Su-han, Beerus will definitely not be able to control himself to fight him. How is it, Mr. Whis? Su-han shook his fist. Feel the huge energy swimming in your body. Although the pink energy has only increased by 20%, the strength improvement it brought to Su-han is immeasurable. The peach red 3 and the total attack rate of the pink 3 are not a concept. Even though there is only a 20% energy difference, there is an insurmountable gap. As for Su-han, who is at full strength, now he just wants to find someone to have a good fight to vent out the huge energy of his physical fitness. Mr. Su-han, you really brought me too many surprises. Angel Whis looked at Su-han and said solemnly. It is true that the breath of God released from Su-han's body is no less than that of the real gods of destruction, and this is still without mastering the law. If I train Su-han as a candidate for gods of destruction, then I will teach him the law of destruction. In this way, Whis can't estimate how strong the opponent's strength can be. Whereas this, the surprise is still to come. After speaking, Su-han clenched his fists, and rushed directly towards Angel Whis. The speed was so fast that even Whis was surprised. Boom! A punch of life blasted out. Although it was blocked by Whis' staff, Angel Whis' body took more than 3 steps back. One can imagine how strong Su-han is now. What a powerful force. Looking at his numb wrist, Whis frowned. It's not over yet. After speaking, Su-han's body flashed again and came diagonally above Whis. Then he punched out again. Call out. But this time, Angel Whis dodged it by himself. Seeing that his attack was dodged, Su-han immediately charged forward. The two fists alternated, launching a stormy attack towards Angel Whis. But the result was no surprise, all of them were picked up by the other party, or avoided. Mr. Su-han, your strength has indeed taken a huge leap compared to a few days ago, but even so, it is impossible for you to hurt me. Whis looked at Su-han very confidently. Oh, how about adding this? Just as Su-han's voice fell, silver halos and lines suddenly appeared around Su-han's body. There was no wind in the hair, and it turned into silver white in the next second, and the silver-gray brilliance in the pupils suddenly flowed. It's really Ultra Instinct. It's really Ultra Instinct. Seeing Su-han's body changes, Whis recognized it immediately. Although it is not perfect, it is unimaginable to be able to reach this step without guidance from others. Now I should be able to fight you, Mr. Whis. Su-han looked at Angel Whis calmly. Since Tao Hong's 3 full attack rate still can't shake Whis, it should be enough to add the free sign. Mr. Su-han, I have to say that you are the most perverted person I have ever met. Angel Whis didn't say too much, but just said something lightly. Because he knew that the other party didn't want to listen to him now, nor did he want to answer too much. He just wants to fight with himself with all his strength. If that's the case, then I'll just satisfy him. And at this moment, Angel Whis put away his staff. Then he stared at Su-han seriously. HMPH, are you finally serious? That's right. Seeing Whis put away his staff, Su-han showed a look of satisfaction on his face. Then he slammed the ground with his right foot, and his body whizzed away like an arrow leaving the string. Facing Su-han's powerful attack, this time Whis did not choose to dodge, but clenched his fists tightly. Then he hit up fiercely. Boom! The moment the two fists touched, a powerful wave of energy swept towards the entire Gods of Destruction world. Fortunately, because of the protective barrier, they can only collide back and forth within the barrier, and cannot have any impact on the outside of the barrier. And the bodies of Su-han and Whis were deadlocked in midair like this, no one would give way to the other. Mr. Whis is really powerful, I have tried my best, but I still can't shake you. Although his full blow was blocked by Whis, Su-han's face could not see any ripples, but he became more and more excited. It's like a fighting machine that doesn't feel tired. The more you fight, the braver you get, and the stronger you get. Ho ho, actually, Mr. Su-han, you are already very good at forcing me to fight head-on. Under normal circumstances, Angel will not fight head-on with others. Whis still said calmly, come again. Su-han didn't care about Whis' praise, because in Su-han's world, a win is a win, and a loss is a loss. Not much nonsense. How easily the opponent can receive his punch is enough to prove that Su-han's current strength is still unable to match Angel. But even so, Su-han will not give up. And Su-han feels that his body can grow in battle, and his strength can also become stronger in battle. So even if you are defeated in the end of the battle, it will not have a bad effect on yourself. On the contrary, it can further strengthen one's own strength. Boom! Immediately afterwards, Su-han punched out again. This punch was more ferocious than last time. But he was still blocked by Whis. Then it was thrown out violently, landed with a bang, and then smashed out a huge deep hole. Boom! Although Angel Whis didn't seem to use much strength, the moment Su-han landed on the ground, he felt the pain of concentrating on his body. It was as if every inch of my muscle had been torn. Hiss. The pain in his body made Su-han take a deep breath. I didn't expect Angel's strength to be abnormal to this point. It seems that his current strength is completely unable to shake the opponent. Cut. You will know the result after you have exhausted your strength. It would be too early to give up now. Su-han clenched his teeth. The body quickly assumed a posture, with his hands on his waist. A spiral was formed immediately, and the aura of the surrounding gods rushed towards Su-han's palm as if going crazy. In an instant, a huge energy ball gathered in Su-han's palm. Although it looks a bit like Kamehameha Wave, it is Su-han's evolution based on Kamehameha Wave. Infused with all the power of God, the power of this blow is unimaginably powerful. Ready, Whis. There was a smile on the corner of Su-han's mouth, and then the energy bomb that had already gathered was quickly pushed out towards Angel Whis. Super Kamehameha Wave. Accompanied by Su-han's roar, the powerful Kamehameha Wave blasted towards Angel Whis like a comet. Boom. It hasn't hit the target yet, and you can hear a deafening sound just by shooting it in the air. Have you injected all the power of God into this blow? It's really crazy. No, you can't dodge it. If you dodge it, the power of this blow will definitely break the protective barrier, and then it will be troublesome. Quote. As long as the power of this blow was strong, Angel Whis instinctively wanted to dodge, and suddenly thought of this very important matter. Bringing people to the gods of destruction world without permission, and waking up Lord Beerus to sleep, then Lord Beerus will definitely be furious. And Whis doesn't want Beerus to wake up anytime soon. There is not much food left over from Mr. Su-han. It seems that this blow must be followed. Whis frowned, and there is no room for regret now. If that's the case, then let me see how powerful your blow is. As he spoke, Whis picked up the staff and placed it across his chest. Want to force the power of the current blow. And he also wanted to see how powerful Su-han's blow could be after exhausting all his divine power. HMPH, this is the moment I've been waiting for. Let me go, Super Kamehameha Wave. Seeing Whis fly into his attack range. A smile appeared on the corner of Su-han's mouth, and the veins on his forehead and arms popped out. Boom. In an instant, the Super Kamehameha Wave, which was originally only about 5 meters in diameter, suddenly became larger at this one. At the same time, the diameter of the Super Kamehameha Wave reached about 8 meters. Angel Whis had no chance to react at all, and was directly swallowed by Su-han's Super Kamehameha Wave. Boom, 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 boom. There was a loud bang. And Su-han was so tired that he fell to the ground at this moment. About half a minute later, a scorched man in midair slowly landed. Ahem, ahem, ahem. Mr. Su-han, you are too cunning, you actually saved a hand. Ah, my hair, my hair. No, Mr. Su-han, you have to make up for my hair. Angel Whis, who was dressed in scorched black, noticed his scorched black hair, and immediately went crazy. 1 barrel is not enough, at least 3 barrels are needed. Whis looked at a finger extended by Su-han, and immediately shook his head. Gods of Destruction Realm. Angel Whis, dressed in charred black, was chewing on a bucket of noodles in his hand. Ah, as expected, Laotan sauerkraut is more delicious. Thank you very much, Mr. Su-han. I never thought you would be willing to give me the last sauerkraut-flavored barrel noodle in your possession. I'm so excited. Angel Whis tried hard to praise the deliciousness of the barrel noodles while tasting the same delicacy. It seemed that in front of eating, his scorched body was nothing at all. Su-han couldn't help laughing when he saw Angel Whis, who was easily beaten by the bucket. Because there are still leftovers of the fairy beans that were brought from Keelan before. So at this time, Su-han's injuries have fully recovered, and he can even clearly feel that his strength has been greatly improved. Even this point can be clearly felt by oneself. Su-han originally thought that Super Saiyan God Taohong's 3 total attack rate, plus the free sign, should be able to hurt Whis. But I didn't expect Angel's strength to be so strong. The last blow almost exhausted all the divine power in his body, but it still didn't cause Whis to suffer 2 serious injuries. Even the opponent was just scorched by the Kamehameha Wave. There were no serious injuries, which made Su-han feel particularly shocked. But now it seems that his strength is still a little weak. It's not at the same level as Angel, let alone trying to beat Angel. Ding. The system has released a new check-in task for you. Please host to go to the 11th Universe Supreme Kai to check in, and defeat Gods of Destruction candidate Topo. Ding. Friendly reminder, the host of this sign-in task can ignore it, but the rewards are extraordinarily generous. Hearing the system prompt sound in his mind, Su-han stood up abruptly. Check in at 11th Universe and beat the Gods of Destruction candidate. The rewards are exceptionally generous, and you actually told me not to bother. If it wasn't because Whis was beside Su-han, Su-han must have scolded himself at this time. Since there is a huge reward, how could Su-han give up? Isn't this Jill equivalent to a person who takes off his clothes and dances in front of you, and then keeps saying daba daba daba? Joe, it seems that Su-han must go to the 11th Universe's check-in this time. And the battle just now made Su-han understand a truth, although his current strength is very strong among ordinary people. But if they really fight against Sabotage or Angel, they may not be their opponents. The battle with Angel Whis just now taught himself a hard lesson. So Su-han needs to improve his strength. Separate. At this moment, Angel Whis hugged the bucket of noodles and drank the remaining soup in one gulp, and then satiated comfortably. Mr. Su-han, aren't you hungry? Seeing that Su-han's bucket of stewed chicken and mushroom noodles was left untouched, Angel Whis wiped his saliva and said, "Not hungry." Su-han nodded. Eating a fairy bean can keep you from feeling hungry for 10 days, so Su-han doesn't feel the slightest sense of hunger at all. On the contrary, now he is more eager to enter the 11 Universe as soon as possible, and then complete the system's check-in task. Rich rewards. Maybe it will be better than the previous Angel's power. After all, even the system has prompted, and the rewards are very rich. Then I won't be polite. Seeing Su-han nodding, Whis beat the barrel noodles directly and started eating. Mr. Whis, you should know how to enter other universes. Su-han asked. Although your own unlimited instant transmission can be directly transferred to other universes, but there is a premise. If instant transmission across universes is required, the user must have been to the corresponding universe before. If you have never been to this universe, then even the unlimited instant transmission cannot be directly transferred there. After all, this is directly crossing the universe, so accurate coordinates are required, otherwise, if something unexpected happens in the middle, it will be very dangerous. I know, but Mr. Su-han, why did you suddenly ask this? Whis took a big gulp of the bucket noodles, and then asked. He didn't know why Su-han asked this. Mr. Whis, after fighting with you just now, I understand one thing. My current strength is still too weak, but in our universe, I have no opponents other than you. So I want to enter other universes to compete with the strong ones there. This may be of great help to my cultivation. Quote. Su-han looked at Angel Whis very seriously and said. Although one of them is to complete system tasks, Su-han actually thinks so in his heart. Because that's what cultivation is all about. Although retreating alone can improve one's strength, it is not as fast as fighting against powerful opponents. Oh, it turned out to be like this. In fact, if you just want to fight against a powerful opponent, you don't have to leave the 7th universe. I can always fight with you. Stop. Mr. Whis, I know you are very powerful, so I don't want to be abused. Su-han didn't wait for Angel Whis to speak, and interrupted directly. Although Su-han knows that fighting Angel Whis can also improve his strength, there is nothing wrong with Su-han. He didn't want to be tortured by blood all the time. And if he stays in the 7th universe, who will complete his check-in task? Obviously unrealistic. That's it. That's fine, I can send you to the universe you want to go to, but Mr. Su-han, you need to agree to a few conditions. Seeing Su-han's decisive attitude, Angel Whis naturally knew that it was useless to say anything. Mr. Whis, tell me. Su-han said lightly. First of all, Mr. Su-han, you should still have the food capsule you prepared earlier. Angel Whis blushed, and unkindly stated his conditions. Because when Su-han was holding the bucket of noodles just now, Whis noticed that there were still a few unused food capsules on Su-han's body. I can only give you 3. The other 2 I need to keep for myself to make dry food in other universes. After speaking, Su-han took out 3 food capsules without hesitation. Everyone in the Dragon Ball world knows that except the earth is food and can be eaten, there is no guarantee that other things will be poisoned. So Suhan naturally wants to keep some. Gulu. 3. Angel Whis took the Sanmei food capsule, and his heart was already excited. In fact, what Whis thought was that it would be nice to get one. After all, there are a lot of delicacies in one. But I didn't expect Mr. Suhan to be so generous and gave 3 coins directly. Is it okay now? Suhan spoke again. Mr. Suhan, in addition, I have another thing to tell you. If you provoke gods of destruction or angel-level existence in other universes, causing your life to be threatened, you can shout my name, and then I will go to the rescue as soon as possible. Whis patted his chest, although his strength may not be able to beat angels from other universes. But he believed in Suhan's strength very much, after he reported the matter of Suhan to his father. Will definitely get attention. Shouting your name. Hearing this, Suhan's face darkened instantly. Okay, I remember. Seeing Whis' small eyes, Suhan could only nod helplessly in the end. In fact, Whis' worries are completely superfluous to Suhan. Because even if there is a scene that Suhan can't handle, Suhan can still use unlimited instant transmission, and it only takes a moment to return to the 7th universe. So don't worry at all, even if you can't beat it, you can still escape. That's all right. Angel Whis nodded in satisfaction, and then took out his staff. I saw Angel Whis' staff tap lightly on the ground. Then a channel like a space vortex is opened directly. No, this is the passage to other universes, but as for which universe you want to go to, you can choose by yourself after entering. Whis pointed to the passage in front of him with his staff, and said, Thank you, Mr. Whis. Suhan walked in without hesitation. After entering, quickly find the passage leading to the 11th universe, and then enter it. Whether there are systematic tasks or not, Suhan will not hesitate to choose the 11th universe. Because for Suhan now, only the 11th universe is the most challenging place. And the other universes are not as powerful as the victory of the 11th universe. Although there is a combined robot that performed well in the power conference, it was born after the combination after all. Who knows if Suhan will be able to meet after passing by. So it is safest to go to the 11th universe. After all, that place has Jiren, the strongest human being, and Toppo, a candidate for gods of destruction. Call out. After entering the passage, about 10 minutes passed. Suhan's body came to another universe. And here is the 11th universe. Phew, this should be the 11th universe, Supreme Kai world. Hiss. Suhan took a deep breath. The task of the system was to sign in at the Supreme Kai world. It seems that I have to find out where the Supreme Kai world is first. Suhan didn't have a good impression of these gods of destruction. In Suhan's eyes, they are no better than Supreme Kai Asin of the 7th universe. Search the nearby creatures with the power of God, and see if you can quickly find a way to the Supreme Kai world. After speaking, Suhan released the divine power in his body. Start searching the surrounding creatures. But after Suhan searched for more than 10 minutes, he found that there were basically no living things except the Death Star or the Death Star. Even if there are creatures, they are some savages without IQ. So it doesn't help Suhan at all. Where did it get teleported to? Suhan complained helplessly. However, just when Suhan was about to give up and continue searching, he suddenly found a strong aura fluctuation in front of him. Judging from the strength of his aura, his strength must have exceeded 100 million, and he should be able to help me. Thinking of this, Suhan didn't waste any time, and directly transferred an instant transmission. Call out. When the body reappeared, it was already above a black planet. At Suhan's feet, there were countless bull-like monsters. Suhan glanced at them and found that although these bull monsters were not very intelligent, they were not weak. Basically, they all have billions of fighting power, and most importantly, they have a large number of personnel. And at this moment, those monsters are desperately chasing a guy in a strange battle suit. This dress is lucky to be a member of Team Pride. Only then did Suhan notice that the people the bull monsters were chasing were members of a Pride team. A red and black bodysuit. And that blue frog head. This guy seems to be called Quincy. I remember being given a second by hit during the power tournament. Looking at Quincy, a member of the Proud team who was being chased everywhere, Suhan touched his chin and said, Although it's a rookie character, it should help me find my way to the Supreme Kai world. Thinking of this, Su-han himself appeared in front of Quincy in an instant. What? The guy who just popped up out of nowhere. Get out of here quickly, don't hinder my cultivation, or I will kill you together. Quincy frowned slightly, and then showed a fierce look on his face. But Su-han didn't take this threat seriously. Instead, he stretched out his arm directly and ejected an energy shot. All the bull monsters chasing behind Quincy fell to the ground. What? Kill them all. Quincy saw that the monster he had been attracting for a long time was actually killed by this guy with one move, and immediately he was extremely annoyed. I want you to die. Speaking of which, Quincy stretched out his palm, and then countless energy bombs shot towards Su-han. But how could an attack of this magnitude affect Su-han? Su-han sneered. Then he stretched out his arm and patted the incoming energy bomb directly. Then he came to Quincy in an instant, grabbed the other's neck with one hand, and lifted him up fiercely. What do you want? Quincy always thought that the other party was a stunned young man with little strength. After all, the other party had no energy at all, but he didn't expect the other party's strength to be so strong. You should know where the Supreme Kai world is. Take me there now and I can spare your life. Otherwise, you should know what will happen to a god. Su-han squeezed Quincy's neck, showing a terrifying smile. If you shoot a god, you should know what will happen. Although Su-han doesn't have a priesthood, it's not difficult to bluff Quincy with his huge divine aura. And his own strength lies here, so the other party can't believe it. God. After hearing Su-han's words, Quincy's expression changed instantly, and his breath became short of breath. There are not many people in the entire 11th universe who dared to take a shot against their proud team. And the person in front of him not only dared to attack him, but also defeated him so easily, so Quincy believed that the other person was very likely to be a powerful god. But it shouldn't be the god of their 11th universe. My lord, I know. I can take you to the Supreme Kai world. As the hand pinching his neck became stronger and stronger, Quincy felt fear all over his body. Very good, lead the way. It was said that Su-han had a satisfied look on his face. This is what he wants, so that he can save himself a lot of trouble. Yes, my lord, I will take you to the Supreme Kai world right now. Quincy knelt on the ground, nodding nervously. I'm afraid it was the closest I was to death. As long as the opponent's arm uses more strength, maybe I will really get cold. Although Quincy still doesn't know the identity of the other party, what is certain is that the other party must be a god. And the priesthood may not be low. But now he can only honestly take the other party to where Supreme Kai is. Maybe only after arriving at Lord Supreme Kai can he figure out the identity of the other party. Take Quincy's lead. In about 2 hours, Su-han and Su-han successfully arrived at the Supreme Kai realm of the 11th universe. My lord, this is the Supreme Kai world of our 11th universe. I wonder which universe my lord came from. After landing, Quincy looked at Su-han cautiously and asked. But what ushered in was Su-han's ignorance. Now that he has successfully reached the Supreme Kai world, this rookie named Quincy is useless. Still care about what he is doing. Is this the Supreme Kai world of the 11th universe? It doesn't look like anything special. Su-han looked around and found that there was almost no difference between the Supreme Kai world of the 7th universe in the original book. It's also possible that all Supreme Kai worlds are the same. And Quincy didn't pay attention to him when he saw the other party. Although he was a little upset, he didn't continue to say anything. Because he knew that the guy in front of him was very powerful. If he made the other party unhappy again, maybe the other party would really kill him directly. Call out. Accompanied by a piercing sound, 2 figures appeared in front of Su-han immediately. It was Supreme Kai from the 11th universe and his entourage. Kai glanced at Su-han and didn't say much, then when he set his eyes on Quincy next to Su-han, he frowned immediately. Who is Quincy, and who gave you the right to bring strangers to the god realm without authorization? During the speech, Kai's tone revealed a strong oppressive force, and Quincy was so frightened that he took 2 steps back. Quincy was stunned at this moment. What's going on? Isn't this guy a god? And no matter how powerful a god is, it must be at least the same level as Supreme Kai. But how could Lord Kai not know each other? Talk to Quincy. Do you know what you're doing? Seeing that Quincy didn't immediately respond to his words, Kay immediately scolded him angrily. Master Jia, Supreme Kai, it was this god who asked me to bring him here. Quincy was stunned for a moment, then he didn't dare to hide anything, he knelt down on the ground and said. What, my lord, it was said that it was Kai who focused on Su-Han at this moment. Sure enough, this guy also mastered the power of God, and it is not difficult to see that the power of God in the other party is not weaker than himself. I don't know which universe you are from, I don't seem to have seen you before. The 11th universe Supreme Kai still looked at Su-Han calmly, and asked questions. Is it important? Su-Han responded casually, and then walked directly towards the center of the Supreme Kai world. The system in my mind reminds me that the check-in can only be completed at the center of the Supreme Kai world. Stop. Master Supreme Kai is asking you something again. After paying attention to Kai's eyes, the follower behind him immediately wanted to step forward and pull Su-Han's shoulder. Boom! The powerful divine power erupted, and the entourage was shocked back again and finally sat down on the ground. How dare you disrespect the envoy? I think you are courting death. Losing face in front of Lord Supreme Kai made the follower feel like he couldn't keep his face. Immediately, he got up quickly and punched Su-Han in the back. But the result was very obvious. Su-Han didn't pay attention to the other party at all, and the divine power that exploded from his body sent him flying again. And this time Junfei's distance was even further. That's amazing. Could it be that Universe's new Supreme Kai? But why haven't I heard that Universe has a new Supreme Kai? Kai looked at Su-Han's back in astonishment. He just felt that the other party had not weak divine power, but he didn't expect it to be so powerful. Quincy, look, you brought everyone. Kay glared at Quincy and whispered. Yes, I'm sorry Lord Supreme Kai, I don't know. I don't know anything, I thought he was your old acquaintance, Lord. Quincy knelt on the ground, wanting to die. Not only did I get beaten up for practicing well, but now I was scolded by my Supreme Kai again. Trash. Hurry up and inform Captain Topo, this guy seems to be a bad guy. Although Kay knew that the other party was not kind, he did not directly attack him. Because he knew very well that the strength of this mysterious man was no small matter, and he definitely couldn't handle it. But it doesn't matter, as long as he can wait until Captain Topo arrives, then he must make this guy kneel in front of him and admit his mistake. Su-Han didn't expect that Kai and the others didn't follow, but he didn't pay attention to it either. Maybe it's because he's afraid of his own power, but it doesn't matter. For Su-Han, the most important thing now is to complete the system's tasks. And he has come to the center of the Supreme Kai world at this moment. Ding! Congratulations to the host for arriving in the 11th Universe Supreme Kai and successfully signing in. Partial reward. 20% rose purple energy, rainbow energy. At this moment, the voice of the system came from Su-Han's mind. Rose purple energy. It's not rose red energy anymore. Su-Han swallowed, feeling unbelievable in his heart. Although it was expected that such a thing would happen, Su-Han still showed a look of astonishment when it actually happened. Rose purple energy, is this the super race god energy that surpasses rose red? Gulu. Thinking of this, Su-Han became excited. I can't wait to find an opponent to try now, how strong Mitzi's energy is. Wait, system, why is it a partial reward? Amidst the excitement, Su-Han realized that the task reward given by the system just now in his mind was actually only a part of the reward. So what about the rest of the rewards? Ding! Because the host only completed the sign-in task, but not the defeat task, the remaining system rewards can only be obtained after the host completes the corresponding task. As if sensing Su-Han's doubts, the system immediately explained. So that's it, I almost forgot that there is an additional task, defeating Topo, the gods of destruction candidate from the 11th universe. Su-Han touched his chin, and a smile appeared on his face. He had a hunch that the reward given by the mission system just now was already beyond Rose Hong's strength, so the reward for defeating gods of destruction candidate Topo might be even more generous. In that case, let that Quincy take him to find Topo. Thinking of this, Su-Han flew directly towards the place where their breath came from. Call out. In an instant, Su-Han came to Supreme Kai again. Hiss, this guy. Kay looked at the other party with a wary face. Looking at the strong body of the other party, Kay quickly stepped back 2 steps for fear that the other party would hit him in the face with the next second. I just went to visit the Supreme Kai Hall, so don't be nervous, Supreme Kai. Looking at Kai with a pleading face, Su-han said with a look of disdain. Just wait. When Captain Toppo comes later, I will make you kneel in front of me. Faced with Su-han's provocation, Kai clenched his fists tightly, and roared in his heart. But because he was afraid of the opponent's big bidu, Kay finally endured it. Who the hell are you? Seeing that Su-han actually wanted to leave directly, Kay hurriedly asked. I have asked Quincy to notify Captain Toppo, and in my own name, to calculate the time. Now Captain Toppo and the others should arrive at the Supreme Kai realm soon. That being the case, Kai couldn't let Su-han leave like this. If you provoke yourself, you want to leave. How can it be so simple? It's just a nobody, Supreme Kai, you don't have to worry about it. Su-han didn't even turn around, just said something lightly. What do you think the Supreme Kai world is? Do you come and go whenever you want? You don't think so much of me, Supreme Kai. Fearing that the other party would leave immediately, Kay actually roared angrily. But it was okay if he didn't say anything. Su-han actually stopped in his tracks after he finished speaking, and then turned to look at Kai. He frowned slightly. What, do you have an opinion? Su-han looked at the other party coldly, showing no mercy. Su-han thought that he did not offend the other party, and he just signed in. Su-han didn't even bother about Kai letting his followers attack him before. Even so, it's too self-righteous for this Supreme Kai to insult himself. Cut. Although I don't know which universe's new Supreme Kai you are, even if you are a Supreme Kai, you must accept my punishment for breaking into the Supreme Kai world of my 11th universe. Sensing that Toppo's breath was gradually approaching, Kay became more confident in his speech. I don't intend to continue to endure this arrogant guy anymore. Accept your punishment. I said, why did you suddenly become hard-spoken, you soft fool? It turns out that you have already found a rescuer. But if this is your confidence, then you underestimate me too much. Quote. Snapped. Then the body stepped forward quickly, and without warning, a big bidu directly hit Supreme Kai on the right cheek. Boom. All of a sudden Kai flew out, and finally knocked down a mountain in the distance. Jia. Master Supreme Kai. Master Supreme Kai. After seeing this scene, both Quincy and Supreme Kai's entourage were all shocked and their jaws fell to the ground. That is the Supreme Kai. He has the same priesthood as Lord Gods of Destruction Vermut, but now he was shot flying by an unknown man, a big bidu. I'm afraid it's really the first time. It's boring to ask for it, but since you are willing to be beaten, I don't feel tired. Looking at Supreme Kai who was knocked out in the distance, Su-han spat and looked disdainful. Supreme Kai is really a bunch of dark guys. Looking for reinforcements with your own strength pretend. It's cool now. However, the strength of the rescuers does not seem to be weak, and it seems that the challenge to Toppo is about to slow down. Su-han looked at the several breaths flying fast in the distance and said lightly. Although there are quite a few people coming, there are probably no more than 3 that Su-han can take seriously. Su-han didn't take it to heart, since the gloomy Supreme Kai wanted to teach himself a lesson. Then let him see who is teaching whom. Coming. Hearing the whistling sound of piercing through the air, an excited smile appeared on Su-han's face. Shish. A total of 8 figures arrived almost at the same time. And these people who came were all wearing uniform red and black tight combat uniforms. It's actually a proud team. Toppo. After seeing the burly figure behind these people, Su-han became excited. I didn't expect that the rescuers Supreme Kai called would be the proud team. But it's normal to think about it. After all, this group of guys should be the strongest combat force in the entire 11th universe. What Su-han didn't expect was that almost all members of the proud team were dispatched. Except for Jiren, the strongest human being, the rest of the members were all present. Quincy, what happened here? Where is Master Supreme Kai? The rabbit Dispo, who looks exactly like Gods of Destruction Beerus, came to Quincy and asked. Master Supreme Kai sent them all out. I thought something important had happened, but now I haven't even seen Supreme Kai. Yes, Quincy, what happened? Why did Master Supreme Kai call us all over here suddenly? At this time, the vice captain of the proud team, Castler, glanced at Su-han, and then also set his sights on Quincy. Although this guy seems a bit difficult, but right now he should figure out what he is talking about. Everyone, listen to me. The thing is like this arrogant guy not only ignores our Lord Supreme Kai, but even hit Lord Supreme Kai just now. At this time, the Supreme Kai attendant who was stunned in place before reacted, and then hurriedly came to the front of the Pride team and began to talk. And when this guy described it, it was miserable. Basically, I said everything that could discredit Su-han. What's going on, Quincy? Is the incident what Mr. God Envoy said? Castler frowned slightly, and asked Quincy again. No, that's right, and this guy not only pretended to be a god and hid me, but also lured me to bring him to the Supreme Kai world. It's just disgusting to the extreme. Seeing that his companions and Captain Toppo were there, Quincy also had the confidence to speak at this time. But even so, when he said these words, he couldn't help leaning behind Castler. I was afraid that Su-han would jump up again and give him a big fight. This kind of thing actually happened. Mr. God Envoy, go and see if Master Supreme Kai is okay. This arrogant will be handed over to our proud team. Castler stands confidently against Su-han. Although it is unclear how strong the opponent is, Castler believes that he will never lose to the opponent. Because even in the entire 11th universe, there are very few people who can beat themselves. Castler doesn't think the other side is one of them. Team leader. Castler glanced at Captain Toppo, as if asking for his opinion. Toppo didn't say much, just nodded. Because he also thought the same way, dealing with an unknown pawn, there is no need to do it himself. Lord Supreme Kai is really too cowardly to deal with an unknown pawn to use the strength of the entire proud team. If Gods of Destruction Vermouth hadn't told him to protect Supreme Kai, Toppo wouldn't have come this time. Come on, let me see what power you have, dare to shout in the Supreme Kai world. Castler looked directly at Su-han, intending to have a good fight with him. Back off, you are not my opponent, and I am too lazy to fight with you, just let Toppo do it himself. Su-han picked out his ears and looked at Castler with disdain. For the vice-captain of this proud team, Su-han still has some impressions, although his performance in the power conference was much better than Quincy. But the strength is not very good, even worse than the rabbit dispo on the side. What, you brazen? Hearing this, Castler's expression changed instantly, and the mechanical arm suddenly turned into a steel knife, ready to chop down on Su-han. You're asking for fun. Facing Castler's attack, Su-han snorted coldly. Then his right hand stretched out and turned into a gas blade. Crack! The knife directly chopped off Castler's steel knife. I said you are not my opponent, so please don't waste time. Su-han didn't attack Castler. There was no need to waste energy on such a small role, and he would face Gods of Destruction candidate Toppo next. What? This kind of thing happened, my steel knife was cut off. Castler seemed to have seen something terrifying. But no matter how much shock there was in his heart, he could only quickly pick up the steel knife that fell on the ground, and then retreat quickly. Because he understands that this guy is not something he can deal with. You can call me by my name, you should know me. No wonder you dare to play wild in the Supreme Kai world, it seems that you have some strength. Toppo still said in a supercilious tone. But if this is your proud capital, it's not enough to challenge me. Toppo looked at Su-han with a calm face, and didn't show too much expression because the other party chopped off Castler's steel knife. Challenge you? Toppo, you're probably mistaken. I never said that my purpose is to challenge you. It's to beat you hard. Su-han thought Vegeta was already self-righteous enough, but he didn't expect Toppo to be even more arrogant. And facing such an arrogant guy, Su-han naturally wouldn't be used to it. Ha ha ha, what a joke. Toppo scoffed at Su-han's words. In this universe, there is no one who is qualified to be his opponent except Jiren. And this guy actually said he wanted to beat himself. It's ridiculous. Crazy guy. Is Captain Toppo someone you can challenge if you want? You actually said that you want to defeat Captain Toppo. I think you really don't know the heights of heaven and earth. At this moment, the rabbit dispo next to Toppo also spoke. The tone is full of ridicule and contempt for Su-han's words. Because all of them know very well that in the entire universe, except for Gods of Destruction and Jiren who can defeat Captain Toppo, no one is an opponent of their own captain. Dead Rabbit, do you have something to say here? Besides, I see that you look really ugly. Su-han glanced at Dispo and said in a cold tone. Similarly, Su-han felt a little itchy and wanted to give this guy a big fight. Dead rabbit. What Sonic Warrior, what speed first? In the face of absolute strength, there is no use at all. Moreover, Su-han didn't think that the opponent's speed could be faster than his own, but he could use Angel's super fast speed if he wanted to be himself now. Sonic Warrior Dispo. This dead rabbit can only be called a turtle speed warrior in front of him. Dead rabbit. Do you even know who you're talking to? No one has ever dared to call me that, and the one who gets beaten can only be you. Hearing the name of the dead rabbit, Dispo was stunned for a moment. Then he looked at the other party angrily. His own strength was not comparable to that of Castler. And even in the entire Proud team, apart from the captain, who is he the strongest? This guy actually dared to call himself a wrong number in front of so many players. Joe, what if someone else remembers it? Wouldn't he always call himself that in the future? No, we must save face. Thinking of this, Dispo immediately looked at Topo behind him. Captain, I really can't take it anymore. Just let me teach this arrogant fool a lesson. Dispo looked at Topo and said seriously. This revenge must be avenged by myself, so I must beat this arrogant guy in front of everyone. Let everyone dare not call themselves that anymore. Well, but pay attention to the way you shoot, don't go too far. Although this guy is a bit arrogant, but we are righteous fighters, we only need to be taught a little lesson, there is no need to take too hard. I still have something to ask him later. Topo cast a glance at Su-han, and then said with a calm face. Don't worry, Captain, we are all a proud team of justice, I only have a sense of proportion in my heart. Dispo nodded, and when he looked at Su-han, a hideous smile appeared on the rabbit's face. Of course I will control myself later, the captain also said that I have something to ask him later. Doesn't that mean that as long as you can still talk, it's fine? Don't worry about other things at all. Then just break off the hands and feet. After all, sometimes I can't control my strength when I'm too strong, and it's just as it should be. Humph, the mark of life and death, you will know the end of insulting me immediately. But don't worry, I will control the strength and not kill you. Dispo still looked at Su-han with a ferocious smile. I am not only trying to teach Su-han a lesson, but also letting the players behind me know what will happen if I call myself a dead rabbit. Come on, I was wrong. Su-han let out a sigh of relief, this dead rabbit really talks a lot. TCH, it's no use admitting mistakes now. I'll beat you up as well, but it's good for you to remember the lesson next time. You can't offend anyone in Team Proud. Hearing Su-han's words, Dispo was stunned for a moment, but soon the smile on his face became brighter. I was wrong, I shouldn't call you a dead rabbit, I should call you a dead rabbit who can only talk big. The corner of Su-han's mouth turned up for me, not only Dispo was stunned when he said this. Even the Proud team behind Dispo was collectively stunned. This is intentional hatred. This guy is not afraid of death. It's over, Dispo is angry, the captain should persuade him, otherwise there will be no survivors later. For a while, everyone was talking about it. I'm going to let you know how stupid your behavior was just now. Dispo's eyes were bloodshot at the moment, and his anger had reached its peak. No one has ever dared to challenge him. This guy is really desperate. But since the other party is impatient with life, there is no need for Dispo to show mercy. Call out. The moment Dispo's voice fell, his body disappeared without a trace. The speed was really fast, even Su-han was surprised. It seems that there are some reasons why this guy can be called the Sonic Warrior. But this is only limited to dealing with ordinary people. For me, this speed is simply too weak. Even if I don't use the aura of freedom, Angel's speed cannot be compared with Dispo. Shish, Dispo's body was constantly spinning around Su-han's body. Because of the extremely fast speed, the afterimage formed by the body for a moment actually surrounded Su-han in groups. Call out. Dispo's body flashed in front of Su-han in an instant, and then punched out without warning. Although strength is not Dispo's strong point, because of the speed blessing, Dispo's punch has superimposed some strength. Dead rabbit, your speed is really good, but this can only be played in front of ordinary people. In front of God's speed, it is like a turtle's speed. For Dispo's speed, Suhan didn't pay attention at all. This kind of speed is really too slow compared to my own godly speed. Just when Dispo's punch was about to fall, Suhan's body twisted slightly, and he dodged Dispo's attack very easily. Then the knee pushed out like lightning. Except for Suhan's shot, ordinary people can't detect it at all. Even Toppo, who was watching the battle from a distance, showed a shocked expression when he saw this moment. In the face of such an attack, Dispo has nothing to fight back here, and it is impossible to avoid it. Boom! Before Dispo could take any precautions, Suhan's knee was already heavily on Dispo's chest. Crack! Only low crashing sounds and crisp bone cracking sounds could be heard. Wow! Then Dispo's body flew upside down. Apparently Suhan incapacitated Dispo with just one blow. It's not over yet, dead rabbit. Call out. Suhan's body flashed and came to the ground where Dispo was about to fall. Snapped. A big Bidu came out with a clear voice, and Dispo passed out instantly. Finally, after passing through a hill, it stopped. Wow! A mouthful of old blood spurted out, and he passed out immediately. He passed out with one slap. What a dead rabbit who can only talk big. Looking at the fainted Dispo in the distance, Suhan shook his head and laughed. Although Dispo's speed is really good, his strength and ability to resist hits are too weak. And Suhan is just the norm now. Normally, one slap can knock the opponent unconscious. Suhan feels that if he becomes a super sailor, it is estimated that that slap may directly make Dispo lie in bed for half a year. Dispo, Castellar and the members of the proud team behind him all became nervous. How is this possible? Could it be that this guy is faster than Dispo? And from the relaxed expression on the other side's face, it's not hard to see that he didn't take Dispo seriously at all. Fear. Thinking of this, everyone except Castellar and Toppo took half a step back. You must know that Dispo is the strongest except Captain Toppo. Even he was defeated by this guy with a slap, so could they be opponents of each other? Obviously impossible. Captain, what happened just now? Their speed is too fast, I didn't even see how he stunned Dispo. But what is certain is that the speed of this guy may have surpassed Dispo. Castellar frowned and said with a gloomy face. Unexpectedly, even the Sonic fighter Dispo, known for his speed, lost to the man in front of him in speed. Although Castellar was somewhat unwilling, he knew very well that he could no longer be of any help in such a battle. Although his own strength is not weak, if compared with Dispo or Captain Toppo, there is still an insurmountable distance. You're right, Castellar, I'm afraid this guy's speed is very fast, and he has even surpassed Dispo. But even so what, in the face of absolute power, speed is not worth mentioning at all. And this guy can defeat Dispo in an instant, not because of his strength, but because of his speed and Dispo's carelessness. If Dispo hadn't been careless, he definitely wouldn't have won so easily. Quote. Although Toppo was surprised by Suhan's speed, he still didn't take him seriously. In his opinion, the reason why the opponent was able to defeat Dispo was entirely because Dispo was too careless. I didn't expect the speed of the opponent to be as fast as myself. But I am different, I have absolute power, which is not comparable to Dispo. And the opponent is only fast but not strong. As long as this is clear, there is nothing terrible about this guy in Toppo's eyesight. You can defeat it with a single punch. Captain, what should we do now? Naturally, Castellar saw that Toppo was planning to make a move, and immediately asked tentatively. Don't be nervous, didn't this guy say he wanted to beat me? Then let me take a good look at how he is going to defeat me. Toppo said calmly. Then he walked towards Suhan step by step. The speed of this guy is indeed fast, but the speed of himself, the gods of destruction candidate, is not weak either. Moreover, Toppo is very confident, and his strength must be stronger than that of the opponent. Aren't you going to let these rookies consume my energy first? Looking at the proud team leader Toppo walking slowly, Suhan said with a light smile. However, after hearing Suhan's words, everyone in the proud team really changed their faces. The most powerful team in the entire 11th universe, the proud team, is now called a rookie by this guy. The key is that I can't model it yet. What happened to Castellar and Dispo just now made them understand a truth. The man in front of them can't afford to offend, and whoever offends them will be the next one to be abused. Sharp teeth. But this will not change your fate of failure. Although your strength is much stronger than theirs, there is still a big gap between you and me before I make a move, tell me which universe you belong to. Why do you want to make a move against Supreme Kai? What will happen to you in the 11th universe? If you honestly explain these problems to me one by one, I can be lighter when I start. Toppo looked at Su-han and said, it's okay to humiliate Castler and Dispo, but since this guy dared to openly insult the entire Proud team members in front of him, he is a rookie. They are rookies, so what is this, Captain? Although what Su-han said was true, it still made Toppo very upset. So now he wants to figure out what this guy is coming to the 11th universe for. Of course, if this guy is a demon or something related to the demon, then as a candidate for Supreme Kai, I have the power to kill him. Gap. Ridiculous. Toppo, your words really make me feel very ridiculous. Your strength is good, but don't you think that no one in the 12 universes is your opponent? If that's the case, then I can only say that you, a frog in a well, should go see the outside world more. Su-han sneered at this and shook his head. How could he not see Toppo's threat, but Su-han didn't take it to heart at all. If the person in front of him was Jiren or Vermut, these words might have some weight. But the person standing in front of him now is just Toppo, who dared to speak such nonsense. Su-han couldn't even imagine how arrogant Toppo would be without Jiren in this universe. A frog in a well. I hope everyone will support it and subscribe more.